Good morning, everyone. I am Cassie Villan, and I am going to discuss the virtual private database. So to start with, let me have an introduction to what is virtual private databases is all about. So it is a feature in Oracle database that allows you to control data access at the row and the column level. So VPD, it creates a virtual view of the database for each user, which shows only the rows and columns that the user is authorized to access. Now, for you to understand furthermore what is a VPD and how it is work, first we can see that there there is all the table. This is user 1 and user 2. So the user 1 can only check the ID is equivalent to 123. The user 1 can view only those ID who has a value of 123 is 1. While the other one, the blue one, he or she is only allowed to view the ID which is equivalent to 404. So the VPD is the command. So the owner or the schema owner or the developer will make a condition which is executed by the user. So if the condition is select from all from customer, which is this table, where the client ID is equal to 123. So the table will show all this ID 123 and the blue one will be restricted. Same also to the other user, the red one will be restricted. Always remember that it is always based on the condition. That's it. Now another example. So here is another example. This is let me erase this one. This is our value of table which has a values. This one is the user 1 and the user 2, and 3 is the schema owner. The schema owner will be the one can manage all this data in the table. So if the user 1 is only allowed to view what is the data inside the department 20, while Omar can only see and modify the data from the department 10. So they have rules, while the schema owner will have can manage or modify all the data in the table. That is an overview of the virtual private databases. Next, let's have the history. So VPD was originally called Fine Grained Access Control, or FGAC. It was designed to address the limitation of the existing security features in Oracle database. So prior to VPD, the only way to control access to data was by using traditional database security features such as roles, privilege, and views. So these features provided limited control over data access and did not address the needs of the organization with complex data security requirements. Next is the importance of the VPD in the database security. So it provides an additional layer of protection of sensitive data and the database. So with VPD access to data is restricted based on the predefined policies that are implemented in the database. This ensures that only authorized users can access sensitive data and prevents unauthorized access and data breaches. That is the importance of VPD. It adds additional protections of the sensitive data, and it prevents the unauthorized access and databases to the sensitive data. Next is how it works. So since VPD are a feature in Oracle database that allows for the fine-grained access control to data, VPDs work by using security policies to control data access. So these policies are implemented as a set of rules, and they are enforced by the database engine when queries are executed. So if there is a condition, the VPD will work and will execute those conditions and then queries the data. So there are two policies. So when it comes to policy development, there are two policies that can be used in the VPD system. First is the row level securities, which control access to entire rows in a table or view based on some attribute or condition. Column level security policies, it controls access to individual columns and in a table or view based on some. This policy will always based on a condition. Next is the benefits of the using virtual private databases. First is it enhances security. By restricting unauthorized access. Data privacy. Profile data privacy by ensuring the sensitive data is only visible to authorized users. Scalability can be used to provide data access, control to a large number of users. Ease of implementation. VPDs can be easily implemented using SQL or graphical user interfaces. Reduce development time. So it is by providing a mechanism to automatically enforce data access policies. Compliance. So VPDs on help organization comply with regulatory requirements such as HPAA, GDPR, and PCI DSS by ensuring that the only authorized users can only access to the sensitive data.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jerome B. Procado, and I'm going to report about virtual private databases implementation. So these are the requirements in implementing virtual private databases. First is Oracle Database Enterprise Edition, which we need to install SQL Plus and SQL Developer, which is packaged from installing Oracle Database Enterprise Edition. Next is database user with appropriate privileges, appropriate permission to create policies and policy functions. So these are the steps in implementing virtual private databases. So step 1 is logging into Oracle database and open SQL Plus, then enter the username and password. So once we open the SQL Plus, we need to enter the username and password. So if we forgot, we can also use this. I use this to create. I need to connect to Oracle using SQL Plus. So '/'assistdba, then /assistdba. So this SQL syntax has DBA privileges. The only difference is that the /assistdba can connect to database. So step 2 is create a new user and get necessary privileges. So we need to create a user. This is the name, create user name, and identified by the password. So next is we need to grant the privileges to the created user. So grant connect resource to user. So the grant connect means it can connect to database, but the user can connect to the database, and the resource, the user will have privileges to manage the tables. And next is grant unlimited table space to the user that we have created. So it means that we can insert as many as we like, since it indicates unlimited table space to the table. So next is step 3. Create a new table and insert some sample data. So create table, then next is the user dot employee data, which is the table. So we need to indicate the user and the table. Same in inserting the values into the table. So insert into user, then the table. So step 4 is create a security function. So if we have created a security function and has error, we need to grant the user to create VPD policy. So this is the SQL syntax that we need to use. So grant create session, set container, create VPD policy to the user. So next is then we create a data security function. So create or replace function, salary security function. So it means that we can create or replace if there is an existing function, and it will override if you save. So this security function has two parameters: schema name, table name. It also has then beside this is the data type. So I used varchar2, and same as the table name varchar2. Then the return is also varchar2. So next is where clause varchar 200. So it means that what the data that is returned is varchar2. It means that it can be numbers, strings, or and symbols. So then this is where clause salary greater than 5,000. So it means that 5,000 above will be shown to the users, and 5,000 below cannot be will be filtered, including the rows of the data, since we are implementing our RLS, or the row security level. I mean row level security. Then return where clause. So next is the step 5. After creating a security function, we need to create a security policy. So DBMS RS, so it indicates database management system row level security. So it filters the row of the data. So add policy, these are the parameters in the add policy: object schema, object name, policy name, function schema, policy function statement types. And the object schema, we need to input here the user, our user that we have created, and the object name is our table data. I mean our table in the database. Policy name, we can use whatever we like. Function schema is the user. Policy function is the function that was created in step 4. Statement type is select. So this to update, check, and enable is optional. We can use this or not. It's up to us. So in step 6 is test the security policy using select from employee data and spread output. So we need to use this SQL syntax to view the data in the employee data. So here we can see that in this row, the first row, it filters. So it filters in, it can't be shown to the user. So if we have indicated that 5,000 above will be shown to the user. So 6,000 and 7,000 salary is shown, and in the first is, I think 4 or 5, I have created a 4 or 5 salary here. So it will then filter and cannot be shown to the user. It will then include the rows of the salary having 4 or 5. So we can see that in the ID column, name, department, the rows of the salary having 4 or 5 has been filtered. So that's all for my report in implementation of virtual private databases. Thank you.
My name is Kyle Adrian Muscanyana, and I'm reporting the implementation for virtual private database, or VPD, column level security policies. uh, there are steps in um, implementing the VPD. So step 1, kailangan nato mo login sa Oracle nga database. So we need SQL plus or mismo ang Oracle nga ano nga file or nga application ang atong i-download para magana ni siya. Dili siya basta-basta magana. Dili siya magana sa SQL Live Oracle. So kinahanglan gyud ni siya og i-download nimo ang Oracle. So first is log in to Oracle database and open SQL Plus, then enter the username and password katong gi-create nimo nga username and password sa Oracle. After nimo during the installation. After na to enter ato ang username and password, we should create a new user and grant necessary privileges, same as itong ilang vins nga ga-create sila og user, tapos i-grant nila ang user og privilege nga kailangan ato nga user para ma-implement ang necessary nga privilege. So after that, step 3, create a new table and insert some sample data. So we have here create table, employee data, the employee table name, and the attributes like ID, name, salary, and department. So after we create a table, we should put values in the table. So for example, we should use insert into, same repon siya ka SQL, insert into table name. So the table name is employee data, and the values of the attributes. So 1 is for ID, John Doe is for name, salary is 5,000, and department is sales. And after inserting values on the table, step 4 is create a security function. So medyo lisod ni siya kay gamay rin siya code, pero kailangan mo gamitan ang Oracle. So medyo bugat yun ang Oracle. So we should create or replace function, the function name, and after the schema name, ang iyang value. So varchar sa yan yung table name, varchar pod. So for the line number 2 is return niya ang varchar. I-return niya ang varchar is where the clause is varchar. Ang value sa varchar is 200. Tas ibigin niya ang story ang syntax. So begin for clause, I forgot tawag sa colon, equals salary, attribute name sa table employee data is greater than ata ni siya 5,000. If ma-meet niya ang value nga gi-indicate for the salary, i-return niya ang varchar na 200. End of the syntax. And for step 5, create a column level security policy. Diri na siya. So we start with begin syntax, then DBMS or database management system underscore RLS dot add policy. So add the tag policy. First is object schema, object name, mura ra kag indicate og unsa ang mga value ana nga policy. So for object schema is a Jerome, name sa object nga ang iyang i-call. Tapos object name, employee data, ang table, policy name, atong salary security policy, itong i-create niya nga policy. After that is function schema, policy function, statement types, update check, enable, and end syntax. Then step 6, test the security policy using select all from employee. So we should use select all to view the values inside the employee data table. So as we can see here, iyang gi-show ang ID, name, salary, and department. So ga-add ta ganiha og 5,000, 6,000. So above 5,000, so 5,001 above ang iyang kwaon nga value. So si John Doe dili siya considered kay below siya sa 5,001. Then that's it for our report. Thank you for listening.